Some key initiatives for investors include introduction of the electronic book provider platform for improving transparency to private placement of bonds, increase participation, and to facilitate price discovery.
If you can take the example of a very small market like Taiwan, today Taiwan is a market which is a capital exporter. It is actually because of the dollar exports that they do of the semiconductor, they receive so much dollars that they are actually investing into a big player in the Indian infrastructure sector.
India is, I remember the last bull run of equities 2003 to 7. India was one story in the book. Today, India is the main chapter of the book when so much is happening. So that's why it looks different, but it really isn't different.
From a legislative perspective, the one thing which would help India is build out of judicial capacity, not just in numbers.
You probably invest only in a AAA or only in a listed or a particular kind of credit. 90% of our bond markets even today is BSFI segment.
Structure of government's revenue has also altered. Today, the highest part of government's revenue structure is the indirect tax, GST, which is roughly about 3.1%, which is now greater than personal income tax.
We had a very complicated 4-tier structure, and now it's moving into a 2-tier structure. You have a dollar-denominated bonds and a INR-denominated bonds.
So Adani Green, as you know, is in the business of decarbonizing the electricity grid actually. And some of my panelists, Mukundan, talked about the huge renewable opportunity which is there in the Indian ecosystem.
There is no real incentive which has been developed for such sustainable infrastructure investment. So I think that's one thing maybe from regulatory standpoint which government or regulatory body should think through.
If I look back 5 years ago and we see a customer, the ESG discussion tend to be like in the appendix. So we have like 2 more minutes left, why do we talk about ESG? But today, I guess in every meeting, it is a main topic.
We need to add something like 50 gigawatts of renewables every year. Historically, if you see in 2021, 22, 23, we have added about 8-9 gigawatts.
I know that the development of the Indian bond markets has come a very long way. It was heartening to hear Mr. Bhatia from SEBI today and the steps being taken to develop our Indian bond markets to grow to maybe the third largest economy in the next 10 years or so. By 2047, we are also looking to develop into a developed market.
Hi everyone, I'm Saurabh Bansal. I lead the fundraising for Cube Highways Invest. It's good to see assets coming in India and doing their inaugural summit in India. So obviously that shows the story, India story growing very strong. It's very fantastic to be part here, listening the very key panelists and the speaker like Mr. Ashwini Bhatia, Robbie giving great insight how India story looks like in 2027, 2047.
Thank you to Asset for organizing this event, especially on the bond market side. This is where quite a lot of action is likely to happen. And I think this initiative by Asset is extremely encouraging. Insights which we hear from SEBI's whole-time director as well as the panel was very enriching. More so from the fact that domestic capital market is an area there quite a lot of focus is there.
Hi, it was a very good session. I enjoyed it very much. It was very educational and I have learned a lot of things from the speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, the Asset team, for doing good work.